Hey everyone, today we're going to learn how to boost our profits by using scalping. I'm going to give you a step-by-step strategy today, so stay tuned. Alrighty, let's get started. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Tim will be back hopefully on Wednesday. He was just sharing some of the ideas he has for the channel, and it's really going to be great. So this is something you're going to want to subscribe to. Hit that notification so you get every single update, because this year is going to be a great year for helping traders achieve their goals. So for today's video, we're going to start with a trade review, going over all of the old trades that Tim has suggested and our targets and where we're at with all of that, so that you guys that have been following along with the trades will be able to continue to follow along. And then the second part is going to be the scalping strategy, where I'm going to show you how to trade Tim's strategy, but instead he's going to do it, you're going to be able to do it on a scalping, which is basically a very small time frame with a small trade setup. Then the third part is we got a new trade for you today, a new setup that we're going to be watching. And then lastly is the discussion question. And I really want you guys to not skip out on the discussion question, because I have found that the traders that participate in the discussion are the ones that have the most success. And so Tim and I are going to be brutal. We're going to be really on you guys to participate and have meaningful discussion in the comments. This is a great channel, a great family of traders. Everybody is helping each other here. And so participation in this doesn't just help yourself, but it helps everybody else. So be a part of the solution and participate in the discussion. Okay, thanks. All right, so this first chart, I don't have Tim's stuff on here, but he had drawn a channel in here on a weekly time frame. And if you can kind of eyeball it here, we've got the downward trend here, the bottom trend here, and he had an entry on the break of this triangle. And so the first target is not been hit yet. You can see we're in this trade about 4 weeks now, heading down, and it hasn't quite hit the first target yet. Nothing's really changed on this trade. But this is one of the things you're going to learn today in the strategy about scalping, because I share with you how to really reduce, or actually increase, your trade size by dropping down to a lower time frame. And I'm sure Tim's going to go into more details than even what I am going to do today. But just to get you started, I'm going to share some really quick tips. All right, now let's go to gold. We really thought we had a crazy weekly setup in gold. This thing went up, and then as you can see, we had a massive pin bar here, and it just barely closed above this line. However, as we said in Friday's video, we're not real confident in taking that because of the pin bar. And so with that strong of a rejection, that validated anything. So we passed on this trade and did not take it. Doesn't mean that it still couldn't be a winning trade. Of course it could, because we never know what's going to happen. But based off of the rejection and what we've seen in the past because of pin bars, we're going to keep monitoring this setup and looking for a better entry on gold. The Euro Swiss, the way that this setup was set up was a breakout, and you can go back to some of the older videos to see where Tim actually entered this setup, because he's really trading live in front of you guys. You can see everything. But we hit the first target on this one, and now we're just trailing the stop. And what we're doing is we've moved our stop to be at this parabolic SAR, and it looks to be moving right along, but you can see we just keep trailing this stop. We got a lot of room here, so hopefully we'll keep moving down on this trade and keep locking in more profit, which is one of the great things about trailing stops is it helps you to hit big winners. And now the Aussie yen, we actually did go ahead and enter this one on Friday. And we entered on the close of this daily, which is a little bit over 75.50. And we're right now trading close to 76. The first target, according to 1ATR, is 76.24. Not quite hit first target yet. We'll let you know if we hit it. We're on the right path, though, because we're currently up about 50 pips on this trade. Bitcoin, the big BTC. Everybody loves Bitcoin. We got a nice weekly candle break moving up above the moving average. I had made an additional analysis in addition to what Tim was seeing, is I was noticing there was a little bit of resistance here, according to this, and some resistance with this channel. Doesn't mean that we can't take the trade, as I said on Friday. So we went ahead and took the trade, but we just, with this resistance in mind, using a 1ATR. So we're in this trade right now, down a little bit because we entered in on Friday's close. So Bitcoin, great trade. Fun to trade. It can move fast. Hopefully we'll see a break of this 8,500 level, which acted as a very nice resistance, and then this channel. If we can see that, we'll hit our first target, which was 1ATR, and then moving up along, we hopefully can get a really nice big breakout up into the 1400s, maybe even up to some of the other levels on the 20,000 range. So, with Bitcoin, you never know. It can be a big mover. Can be kind of fun to trade, or if you don't like big moves, it might be kind of scary to trade depending on what your risk tolerance is. All right, now let's go ahead and jump into the strategy. Now, today I'm going to talk about scalping. Okay, this is a scalping strategy, successful scalping, some quick lessons. So the first thing I wanted to share with you about scalping is that really what it is. Scalping is taking trades for a short target on a lower time frame. And a lot of people think that it can be a great way to make money. That's why I said big riches are a fool's game. There are many people who are lured into scalping because of the promise of quick gains. But really, it's important that we analyze everything that we do with trading and make educated decisions based off of testing and trial and error, and not just chasing the big money. Now, I will say that I personally know some people that are amazing at scalping. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about the benefits and the drawbacks of scalping, because I think that it could be good for some of you, while some of you it might not be such a good thing. So it's up to you to make up your own mind on whether you should be trying scalping or not. But I know some very successful scalpers. Some people will say that it's impossible, you can't do it, and others will tell you differently, but you really are going to have to make up your own mind about it. And so just don't follow what I tell you, or what Tim tells you, or what anybody tells you. Make up your own mind, do your own research. Tim is always going to tell you on the channel, don't do what he tells you to do. You figure it out. We're just here to be together and to help you along the way. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump into some benefits. And these can be great benefits. One of the biggest benefit is a big gain. And this, I used Forex as an example, but it doesn't necessarily mean Forex. It could be any market. The money management's the same. If you trade with a tighter stop loss, your size can be much larger. And let me give you a mathematical example of how this works. If you have a $10,000 account and you're risking 1%, and your target or your stop loss is 100 pips, all right? Well, a 1% risk is one mini lot on 100 pips, right? That's one mini lot, which means for every pip that you gain, you're going to make $1, right? And so if your stop loss is 100 pips and your target is 100 pips, that's $100 or 1%. Now let's go into scalping. We're going to drop down onto a lower time frame, and you're going to take it with a 10 pip stop. Well, that 1% risk is now one standard lot, which is $10 a pip. And so that can be a big move, because guess what? You only have to move 10 pips to make your 1%, right? So you can make a lot of money a lot faster. And in addition, if you hit 100 pips on a 10 pip stop, and trust me, it's possible, I've done it, that's a 10-to-1 risk to reward ratio, you make $1,000 or a 10% gain. In fact, I've actually hit 20% on a trade. Okay, it's definitely possible with scalping. And so yes, it is possible you can grow your account fast. That's a 90% increase. So that's definitely a good thing. You can hit your trades faster, right? Faster trades, another benefit. Meaning you can make money quicker. So if you only want to hit a 10 pip trade, a 10 pip stop, a 10 pip trade, well, you can actually make your trade money in 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 seconds. If the market's moving and you hit a 10 pip trade, you could actually hit your 1% target in moments, which is kind of cool when you can make that kind of money that fast. Now, let's go on to the drawbacks. And you can probably guess and figure out what it is, but you can lose money fast, right? I've experienced the losses as well as the gains. You could hit that 10 pips in a second, so you lose 1% of your account really, really fast, right? And then you can go on a string of losses and hit loss after loss after loss, and it can be a really terrible experience. Right? So big losses can rack up quick when you're scalping. I want you to be aware of that if you're trying it out, and try it out on a demo account. Write a little trading plan and try to figure it out. Another drawback is more screen time. Some people that are doing day trading and scalping can sit in front of the charts staring at the screen for like 8 hours a day, right? That can be a real distraction. And can be really difficult and excruciating versus, a daily chart, you might only need to trade 10 to 20 minutes a day. Just looking at the daily chart, making your trade, it can be much more relaxed, and you can still do really well. Because remember, long term, you only need 3 to 4% a month to have really good gains. To hit 4% is going to be around 50% a year ROI. And that's tremendous. You can definitely make a living trading using longer daily charts with a lot less time. So you can work your day job, you can relax, you can do the things that you want to do. You don't have to be glued to the charts. Another drawback is the emotional. I didn't put it on the thing, but the emotional baggage of just having to be attached to the charts and having to trade all the time. Another benefit to scalping is you can be done during that daily session. You don't have to hold trades. So if you don't want to hold a trade when you're sleeping or overnight, scalping can be really good because you're done for that day. You take your trades, you want to be done at 1 o'clock, you just close everything at 1 o'clock and you can sleep peacefully and not having to worry. So there's pros and cons to scalping just like there is anything else. So now I want to talk about how to scalp like a master. This is where we're going to learn the strategy. Using Tim's incredible money management. So the entry, actually everything's Tim's, not just the money management. This is all Tim here. The entry, exactly like what Tim already does. Finding a pattern. The only difference is using it on a lower time frame, right? Using the exact same money management strategy, but only doing it on a lower time frame. Use a combo of long-term and short-term charts. So what I would like to suggest is that you look at breakouts on a daily, but then go ahead and drop down to a lower time frame and then take the trade on a 15-minute time frame and then use the ATR on that. And then if you want to try it even tighter, then try it on a 10-minute chart or 5-minute. And because the lower the chart, the lower the ATR, the bigger the target's going to be. And if you have any questions about the money management, go to the money management video. In the link in the description below, there's a link to Tim's money management video. It's absolutely critical that you guys watch that, because money management and trading is the most important thing. It's more important than trade selection. I will be 100% honest about that. Everybody wants to learn a great strategy, the hottest entry method, and to be totally honest, it's all about managing your finances. If you can't manage your finances, whether it's money management, trading, or even your personal finances, you can't be successful. And so if you're here and you got tons of credit card debt and you can't manage your bills or juggle your payments, then I recommend taking a personal finance course and learning how to do that first, then worry about trading. And that's just a little side note, but money management's critical. Watch Tim's money management video. Now, another thing is you just find the trade normally. I've got an image here of a breakout, right? And use the long-term charts and try to line them up with the short-term size. This is a scalping strategy. So use the daily charts, drop down to a 15-minute time frame, and then give the trade a shot. Then I would say go for a 10-to-1. Use the ATR, one ATR for target one, and then try to allow your trades to run to big targets, because it can, a 10-to-1, if you're going to use a 10 pip stop or a 15 pip stop, then it's only 100 pips or 150 pips, and that can actually be hit in a day or two, depending on the market movement and the ATR of the pair that you're trading. And this, again, this doesn't necessarily have to be Forex. It could be anything, futures, gold, stocks. Go for big wins. Get the big trades. That is really how you can grow your account. If you can get a 10-to-1, then that means you can lose 10 trades in a row and still end up break even. It means you only have to win 2 out of your every 10 trades to make money, right? And then I say improve your odds. And that's where Tim's money management strategy comes into play. And so improving your odds is taking half off at one ATR. And again, I'm not going to go into all that, but I will just say, go ahead, take a look at Tim's money management video. When the trade gets to one ATR, take 50% of it off, move the stop to break even, and then trail the rest. If you get a good break and a good trend and the breakout is really strong, that thing can run and run, and you could hit 150 points. And you could see, if you're trading Tim's strategy on a daily and you're seeing success and you try it on a scalping, then you might see a boost in your profits. And what I would really like to see is if you guys could go ahead and try it out, try it on demo, test it, leave some feedback later on, come back to the video, share how you've done with it. We're really excited to hear about what you guys are doing with the content that we're giving. Okay, so that's the strategy. That's how to be a scalper. Nothing revolutionary or groundbreaking, just kind of tweaking what we're already doing and a different way to do things. Sometimes I found that just a small little tweak can have big results increases. So just something to think about there. All right, so now we're going to go to today's setup, and then after today's setup, we're going to do the discussion questions. And I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this because the video's already gone long. You can do your research here, but what we're looking at is Boeing, okay? And there's a really big triangle, and Boeing has been going down. They've been getting some negative news. You can see they're below the moving average here. This is a 50-period moving average, and they've been trending below. You can see a nice big streak, a nice pop. Then they've been getting some negative news. Some of their earnings have missed, and now it's looking like the stock wants to take a reverse. And so if you remember when I filled in before for Tim, I did an options trading strategy. This is definitely something that I can come back when the entry's triggered. I'm going to have Tim keep an eye on this, and when the entry's triggered, we'll come in and we'll show you how to do an options trade on this. And this would be a put instead of a call. Very slight difference there, but you could still make a really nice profit trading this with options. But what we're looking for is we've got to break below here. We're looking for a close below this 320 level. And this is a weekly chart, but you could trade this on a weekly. You could trade it on a daily. You could trade it on a 15. When you see the price break below the 320 level, you want to be starting to consider getting in rather quickly. And whether you want to trade it on a 15-minute time frame, 5-minute, daily, weekly, whatever, it could be a good trade. But the good thing about doing it on a weekly is that you can ride it out for some really big moves. We don't really know how far this thing could go. It could go back to $200 or below. So a nice weekly trade can be good. All right, now for the closing part of the video, I am going to start some discussion questions. And the discussion is, and I really want to hear from you guys, and Tim loves to hear from you guys. We don't do this because we're trying to do anything other than help you guys out and connect. We want to connect with other traders. So do you feel like scalping is the breakthrough you need to quick profits, or is it a fool's game? Now, please keep the comments friendly, talk to each other, give feedback, share, reply. Let's have a nice little discussion below in the comments, and because I really want to know what you guys think about this. And you know, we don't, in this community, we don't talk bad about anybody else because we love to hear different opinions and different ideas, because that's how we grow as people, is by sharpening each other. I love to get people to challenge me and get me to think about something a different way, because if my position isn't strong enough to be challenged, it's not a strong position. And I want my positions to be strong. I want to be tested in what I'm doing, because what's tested is what will last. What's not tested will fade away. And so please leave your comments. Anything that I had to say that you didn't approve of, or you didn't like, or that you did, just go ahead and leave it below. But I think this is something that could really open up to be very interesting and helpful to each other as we share each other ideas with each other. If there's a good scalper here, please share that in the comments and help everybody else. If there's a good day trader or a good long-term trader, we want to hear that too. If you think scalping just doesn't work or it hasn't worked before, then please let us know. And I know sometimes this can be a little bit heated. I've seen some discussions about this particular topic that's gone on before. But again, leave that comment below, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. We really want to see other traders helped, and when you subscribe, it helps you get notified, and it also helps notify other people as well. Okay, well, that's it for today. Hopefully we'll see Tim back on Wednesday, and have a great time trading. Thank you.